Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Dark Souls Remastered. Here we go to the... hopefully find invaders here this time. I mean, Anne Orlando in general is a popular invasion spot, so technically, not only should I be getting invaded by people who have like the Dark Moon ring on, but also people who are just trying to invade people in regular Anne Orlando. There's one really easy way to check when you're being invaded, is that if you go outside here, and you see a giant fog wall at the tower door there. Hopefully we don't run into any exploit mages today. My magic is exploiting game mechanics. It's not cheating, because the game lets me do it. That's like the... That's like, oh man, I'm sorry I'm still coming out this kind of salty from the previous video, but that's gotta be like the dumbest excuse I ever hear people make when it comes to like cheating in games. It's like, it's not cheating if the game lets me do it. Okay, if the game had a feature in where I can spawn in your world and just delete your entire game, is that cheating? I mean, if the game lets me do it, that's not cheating. It's just, oh god. I always find that like people who cheat and exploit have like, they kind of have coupled with it like the dumbest logic, and it's because like they're in blatant denial. And I know why. You know, they want to feel like they want to feel good about themselves. They want to feel like they won with skill and not with an exploit or something, because then it makes them think that they're good at something. Sorry, I'm just gonna stop talking about that from here because I don't want this episode to just be like grumble grumble. Fucking hate cheaters, grumble grumble. That's it, I do hate cheaters. But yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot I also have the gold tracer like fully upgraded in case I want to like be the scum I'm literally complaining about endlessly. Actually, let's swap that with something else. What's something that would help us hard counter that kind of stuff? If I had a spear, I could use that. But I don't have a spear. I mean, I do, but it's like really heavy, so I wouldn't be able to use it. Shoulder. Give that a go. I mean, shoulder is kind of the same because you can two-hand it and do that. It's just that like it doesn't have the extreme damage and bleed. But it is also good backstabber range. I have a friend who uses a build that doesn't involve backstabbing, but also counters backstabbers. It's basically, he just has like a spear in the left hand and a shoulder in the right hand. And it's like, you poke at him from far away with the spear, and if they try to get in close and backstab you, you just kind of two-hand the shoulder and start R1 spamming. Because even if they get a backstab, as long as you get that hit on them, like in that period between where they get the backstab and where it is on your screen, then it cancels it out. So just do that. Also, they don't have a ton of poise, so you usually stun lock them while they're going for it. It's pretty great. And having the shuttle in the right hand and spear in the left allows them to bypass shields if somebody like tries to get overly defensive. Now, where the hecky are these invaders? Don't tell me we're gonna have to go back into the forest. I don't want to have to go back, at least not for a little bit. This is so strange. I might have to switch characters and just do invasions on a different character, which would suck. Let's see if I can just find an invasion while we're waiting. It's unlikely because I'm 185, but there might be somebody who's a higher level around here. Should probably do it from inside though, which will cancel it out, but I'll just reapply it. Yeah. This is where more people are likely to be, on the inside. It might also be why I was getting less invaders. You know, people who were invading in Orlando are trying to do so inside. But I was waiting outside because of that fog wall, so I can like see when I'm being invaded. Because the fog wall here doesn't pop up if they invade in here. You can actually fight people in the Ornstein and Smoke boss room. But I don't want to go in there right now because I have the, You know, another way I could have done it is I could just have Homeward Bones on my bar there. If somebody's starting to, trying to invade you, when you have those there, they'll be grayed out. Because it's just like, oh, you can't warp now. Somebody's trying to invade you. They cause problems. That said, I'm very surprised by the lack of I figured this area would just be bustling because Dark Moon Blades want to get that Covenant cred. Might have to switch to somebody else. Damn. Alright, well yeah, we'll switch to a different character. I hope I have the stuff on character. I was actually gonna have two characters that are high level as well, but is going to be the second one at some point. Mainly working on the one dude first. This one's like barely even done though, but I think we have. Well, we at least have cracked red eye orbs here. Where can I warp as well? Let's go to the Chamber of the Princess, and we'll just jump down, and we'll from there. We'll jump down from there and try to invade an Airlondo ourselves. Oh god! Oh, we might only have like a couple of Estus flasks when we show up. I just realized we have like a real lack of kindled bonfires. Although I could just kindle it. I mean, I'll probably kindle it when I die and respawn. Oh, here we go. There's the invasions. Good, I was worried this episode was going to have a whole lot of nothing in it. What are my rings on this character right now? Tables and Hornets, gotcha. Sounds like me. Oh, they're also in Dark Londo. Oh, there's a blue just showed up. Why are you showing up for him but not for me? Like, what the fuck? Is he making a run for the boss room? He's dealing with... He's killing his Firekeeper? That's not a smart move. I don't think this Pyromancer Flame's even upgraded. Oh, come on, that was a backstab and you know it. There we go. Get out of here. There we go. That chain. Right there in my See, I don't need a lot of bonfires lit. Avatar was just this guy. He's ready. I should make my way over to the other bonfire. Searching for world to invade. I mean, there's a lot of things with Dark Souls I wish they made better. I really wish they were more for quality over quantity when it came to weapons. There's so many just kind of trashy throwaway weapons that don't matter. There's so little depth to the combat. That's the entire reason why backstabbing is considered like the be-all end-all in Dark Souls 1 is because there's no depth to the combat. Everything is kind of equally important, but backstab is the important one that does tons of damage, so why wouldn't you go for that one? Essentially. Or rather I say important, but they're equally as shallow, but backstabbing is the shallow method that does tons of damage. Same with dark magic. Even when you're not exploiting how the connection between people work in this one. Hey, why are you a ghost and not like a person? You're resting at the bonfire. Oh wait, is it because like when the bonfire goes out when you invade, it stops recognizing? Oh, hey, this is a classic invasion spot. Hiya. Give me that. Give me that butt. Come on. Careful. Oh, I see how it is. Go over my friend the Silver Knight here. Oh shit, it's Giant Dad! Oh, he's gonna backstab me. Shit. It's fine. If I can get out of this, I can take the shortcut up the stairs. Don't turn your back too much. See ya. Oh shit. He switched to a claymore. Shit. I'm trying to get out of here. Come on. Oh shit. I can't get out of here. Come on. I was trying so hard to roll through the door. Fucking 4-directional rolling is so shitty. It was like I was keep getting like trapped in the doorway. It's like I would slip out and then I'd slip back in and then I'd slip out and slip back in. Why didn't they port omnidirectional rolling, or at least 8-directional rolling, to Dark Souls Remastered? That was probably one of the biggest letdowns of the entire damn thing. As well as keeping in the reverse rolling as harder, because the thing with reverse rolling, I have no idea why they kept it in, because not only is it really exploitative to let you get like a really easy backstab, but it's also only really feasible to do if you have a controller that has a macro button. So you're essentially able to buy an advantage by getting a controller that has a macro button. Because essentially what reverse rolling is, it involves... God, I don't remember the exacts of it, because once I learned how to do it, and I did it like once or twice, I was like, that's annoying, and it's dumb, because I had a controller with a macro back then, but it has to do with like... I think it's like your face away from them, or maybe you face towards them, and I think you like turn around and you lock on, and then you hit roll backwards at the same time. Which, I mean, when you think about it, think about what finger you use to press the lock on button, and one finger you use to press the roll button. And now you'll understand why having a macro is really handy. Because, what you do is, you would either have to, like, hold your controller so that your index finger is on your, like, circle button, or B button if you have an Xbox controller, and your thumb is on the joystick, and you awkwardly push the joystick in and hit the roll button at the same time. Or if you have a macro that has, like, a button on the back, you can set the macro button to be the same as your roll button, and just kind of use your middle finger on the back of your controller to push that button and the joystick at the same time, and it's vastly easier to do. And it pretty much hands you free backstabs once you get used to doing it, and it's kind of ridiculous. Because it's like, you know how sometimes you'll see somebody, they'll roll through something you do, and then, like, basically right as they're at the end of the roll, suddenly they're backstabbing you, or... you know, they just try to circle around for a backstab, and they kind of like fidget a bit of extra distance because of the latency and stuff like that. Now imagine, because reverse rolling saves a lot of time for the backstab, because you don't have to turn around at the end of your roll. Imagine seeing somebody roll towards you, and before they're even halfway through their roll, you're being backstabbed. There's really not much you feel like you can do about that, right? Well, that's what reverse rolling allowed people to do. And it's still in the game. Imagine that. The reason why you don't see people do it that much, though, is because it's either A, way too much of a hassle because they don't have a macro controller, or B, I mean, actually, yeah, that's basically one reason. Too much of a hassle. They don't have a macro controller. People who do have a macro controller tend to try and, like, get really good at doing it. And you don't see it that much, though, thank God. Though it's due to people not having the equipment for it. Huh. It is very frustrating, though, when you run into somebody who just wants to do nothing but that. And you know, people will constantly argue that it's fair because it's hard to do, but that doesn't make something fair. And even then, because you could say it's hard to do, but the thing is, if you practice something enough times, it becomes really easy. And then you have something that's really easy for you to do that just wins every match for you, if you know how to do it right. It's like, sorry, you swung your... Because that, you know how, like, it sucks when you're using, like, a slow weapon, and, somebody rolls through your attack and then backstabs you before you can even recover? Imagine that with fast weapons, too. Like, you swing your longsword once, and then, like, just as my swinging animation finishes, before I can turn around, though, or before I can turn around, I'm just getting backstabbed. Or, like, I'll turn around, but then I'll just be turned back because the backstab animation started. It's the cheesiest shit. But yeah, I mean, this is why Dark Souls, as much as I like the game, I feel Dark Souls, and I'm applying this to all the Dark Souls games. I feel like all of the Dark Souls games, deep down, are just all mediocre, and the only reason we haven't realized it yet is because nobody has stepped up and shown us a good way to do them. I mean, we've had games that are a lot like Dark Souls that have done it really well. Like, oh, he's egg-headed. You know, like Neo. Like, Neo is a great example of, this game's combat done right. A Dark Souls type combat done right. Unfortunately, their combat wasn't balanced around PvP. It was balanced for a PvE-only experience. Which is why, the PvP scene in it is not good at all. Oh, hi. Oh, you don't have much poise. Go for that backstab. Wants the heal. He wants the heal. Don't let him get the heal. There we go. But yeah, I feel like if a game like Dark Souls was made, and they made a more elaborate combat system like Neo, but their main focus was to design it around PvP and just kind of... Because honestly, I feel like it's a lot less... It's a lot more of like a... It's a lot worse if you design a game around PvE and then try to make it function with PvP than it is to make a game centered... where you make the combat centered around PvP and then just kind of maybe tweak a couple things for PvE. Because, I mean, we have to think about it. Every single thing that you see is designed for PvP is usually meant to do damage in some sort of way. Some way, shape, or form. Like, you can argue that WoG isn't really the best. I mean, no, it does have actually a lot of utility in PvE. But in terms of single target damage, it's not the best. But it's still worth bringing, because there's times where there's groups of weak enemies, and it's very handy. But you wouldn't want to use it on, like, on a boss. Not seriously, at least. I mean, it does okay damage, but it's like, you're better off just buffing your weapon. Basically, I'd rather have things that are useless in PvE than things that are useless in PvP. Because even if there are things useless in PvE, there's likely going to be tons that are still useful in PvE that you can use. But when you're designing a game around PvE, there's usually a ton of stuff that's useless in PvP. I mean, just look at, like, the metas in this game. It's, you know, if somebody's using Curve Sword, it's almost always the Gold Tracer, because why would you use anything else? There's reasons not to use it in PvE. Oh, it's Shiva, and he's actually doing a proper... Your health is lower, though. Ah. Yes, the famous Shiva and his backstabs, right? Well, that worked out pretty well, though. Oh, he's not dead. Got him, though. Thank you for actually doing the cosplay with that name. I think the funniest thing is how many times you see somebody with, like, the name Guts or something like that, and they're not even using, like, the proper sword for it. I mean, I'm talking more specifically about, like, Dark Souls 3, since there is, like, a great sword in that game that is actually, like, basically the Guts weapon. But, you know, you see somebody in Dark Souls 3, like, the character's name is Guts, and using, like, Artorias' sword, and it's like, what the fuck? Come on. You're not even trying. That's the thing. I never liked whenever I like do a cosplay of a character in a game like this. I never like to just have that name. I like to just kind of just have the whole outfit and be like, see, look, I'm this character. It should be pretty self-explanatory. That way, if you feel like doing something different, you can just put on something different and be fine. Or you can cosplay. I mean, I did one in Dark Souls 1 where I did a patches one. I think there's a video of me fighting the 4 kings with that setup, and holy shit, it is so weak against them. I think it gets to, I think I mentioned this in a previous video, but I think it gets to the point where there's like 5 kings up at once, with me just playing as fucking patches, and it's like the most hectic shit ever. Oh god. Never again. And I remember I was very like, what's the word I'm looking for? I was very careful to make sure that my character looked just like Patches. Like, I had like screenshots of Patches on the screen when I was on the character creation. I was like, I have to make this look just like this, because like he's like one of the few NPCs that has his helmet off the whole time. So if it doesn't look just like him, then people will know. People know it's a fake. I was worried when I ran into that egghead guy. Especially with, like, what his name was. I forget exactly what it was, but I remember it was kind of like an odd name. I was worried that he was just, like, eggheading people, but he also just had an egghead for whatever reason. Especially with how he was, like, dead pale. But it appears he may have just been a victim. Maybe I should have dropped him an egg, vermifuge. Do I have one of those on this character? Might not. Nah, I don't. If you see somebody with an egghead, drop them one of those egghead cures if you have some extras. Definitely keep one for yourself all the time in case you run into a hacker, but definitely drop any spares you have for people to see with the egghead. It sucks having the egghead. You're weaker to fire, I think, and you can't have any head armor on. And, you know, it sucks. Try reapplying this. Also, quick question. I've had this happen a few times, and I wonder if anyone else has had it happen. Have you ever just been like you're kind of starting to go to sleep, you're like maybe listening to a YouTube video on your phone or something like that. Maybe you're doing that right now with this one, and you're kind of like tuning it out as you're trying to fall asleep or whatever, and you suddenly hear them talking, and you think to yourself, wait, I feel like I haven't heard them talk for like 5 minutes straight in this video, but they're generally a person that talks the whole video. And then you just kind of rewind like a minute to see if they're like was still actually talking, and just somehow you were either tuning it out, or it just kind of felt like a lot more time had passed than it actually had. It's like maybe it felt like 2 minutes had passed, but it's really just been like 10 seconds. You ever had that happen? I've had that happen, and it kind of freaks me out sometimes. Like, I feel like I'm about to fall asleep, then I feel like 5 minutes has passed, and then suddenly I hear talking. It's like, I don't remember any talking having happened for a while, so it kind of startled me. And then I go back and I'm like, it's only been like 10 seconds in the video, what the hell? Oh. Is he above me, or... Yeah, he's above me. I thought maybe he was just getting, just finishing up the, part to get inside. Oh, he said, fuck that guy. Oh, he's found on the very top. That Like, shit, he's coming for me. Oh god, you were in a bad spot, pal. Ooh, that's a spot to be in right there. Why did he, like, was he just battling these guys the entire time? Because I heard the arrows going off. One thing I definitely want to do is on my other character, I want to get... Can't put him on my bar. I want to get the character's endurance high enough so that I can have that S-Dog, but also a Zweihander equipped and still be able to fast roll. Because one of the handiest things for taking on gangers, if you're running away from them, is to have a Zweihander out and then just suddenly turn around and start swinging. Because it'll stun, if you two-hand it, it'll stun most people in like one go. And you can get like a whole group stun locked at once with that sometimes. I think I've done that a few times in the original Dark Souls. It's very handy. Just having something that does a lot of poise damage in general is... Even if it is really easy to parry in this one, I feel like you can catch a lot of people off guard if you're running away and then you just suddenly go at it. And you know, sometimes there's just situations where it definitely favors you. Like if you see somebody with the gold tracer, you can just quickly slap on like a wolf ring like that. Oops, too much. Oh god, oh god. I say quickly. And then just trade with them. You'll likely stun lock them. They probably won't stun lock you. With all that poise. And of course, I'm sure you can tell this character isn't done. I just kind of slap together any armor set. I probably am going to have the Paladin set, but I'm probably also going to have some Giant set mixed in. This is going to be a much higher poise character than the other one. Because, I mean, this one I'm actually planning on trying to get to, like, a ridiculously high level before the other one. The other one I'm fine keeping at 185 for now, because that was the initial build intention for him, is to be at 185. Because, you know, then you have your quality faith build with everything at the soft caps. Did anyone else kind of find it disappointing that, like, there's just a lot of weapons in Dark Souls 1 where you're required to get, like, your strength and your dex up to 40 just for them to be good, where there was also a lot of weapons that only required that you get strength or dex up to 40, and they're basically just as good. Like, I mean, you know, Gold Tracer, shining example. 40 dex, and it's one of the best weapons of the game. Don't need to put any points in the strength on, I think, every character. I know it's very light. What is... Oh, wait, that's the other character that's on. Seems like kind of nonsense. It almost feels as if there should have been like a third weapon stat, or that equality weapons should have been measured in a different manner. Almost kind of like it almost kind of feels like it should have been like dark magic in Dark Souls 2, where it took the lowest of your faith and intelligence, but it's scaled a lot better at lower levels. You know what I mean? Like the other spells, you wanted to get your stuff up to like 50 intelligence or 50 faith for your intelligence or faith spells to be good. But dark magic only needed to be up to 30. That's one thing I really like about Dark Souls 2. I really feel like they thought through that kind of stuff. Like, well, that wouldn't be fair if dark magic had to get both of those so high, you know what I mean? Quality could have made it so that whatever is the lesser of the two could scale off that. Maybe it could have made it so those only had to go up to maybe like 25, maybe even 30. Because I think 30 would still work. It would make it so that you would still save a lot of points. You'd save like 20 points, which is really great. Because now instead of having to go to 40, I'm going to 30. It would also make it so that it's technically, it would also technically make them like their own category. You know, like if you put a bunch of points in strength, you wouldn't be the best you could be at dexterity weapons, and vice versa. And since the highest damage increase for strength and dex weapons comes between 30 and 40, you would not be the best at them. You'd still be pretty decent at them, but you wouldn't be the best at them. Kind of wish it functioned like that, but that's just spitballing. Because, you know, like, if I want this longsword to basically hit as hard as a Gold Tracer, I need to put in, like, twice as much point investment. And it's not even, like, that amazing. It doesn't have, like, the bleed, the crazy bleed that the Gold Tracer has or anything like that. But like I said, Dark Souls is a game that's clearly balanced behind PvE and not PvP, which is why, in order to have so many different builds be like the same strength, they need to be at drastically different levels. Dark Souls 3 is a shining example of that with mages. If you want a mage in Dark Souls 3 to be as strong as other builds, they need to be like 30 soul levels higher. But matchmaking won't allow that. Which is why I think matchmaking in Souls games are kind of BS. Oh, come on, that was clearly a backstab. Okay, do it again. Try this again. Oh, we got magic. One down, I think. Thank you, Crest Shield. Oh, we freed him. Oh, he was shooting at me still. Not the smartest decision you've made. Is that death? No, it's not death. Oh, now it's death. Yay, I was indicted. Now that's a classic invasion right there. The 3v1, but you're more well prepared, so it kind of balances out. It's kind of why I want to make a lower level evasion character as well. Not like stupid low, like twink low, but there's one thing that's interesting is they added a sort of weapon balancing system in this game, like they did with the other ones. You know how the other ones had like the system where your weapon couldn't be like too much higher of a level than theirs. They added that to Dark Souls Remastered, which, I mean, I can think of a vastly better system than that to make it so there's like weapon twinking is an issue. I mean, you could have just made it so all weapons can't be upgraded and just naturally get a lot stronger through leveling. That way, you know, a person's level would actually make the, you know, you can basically make a character of any level at any point. I feel like weapon upgrades is such a pointless system in a game where you also upgrade your damage with stats. You don't need another layer on that. That just allows for twinking. Oh, hi. Oh, God, I don't like how much he's fidgeting around. Did I get lucky? Oh, I did, but you see it cut to the end of the animation. Oh, my God. I think I actually got that fucking parry. Oh, he's still alive. Oh, cool, the fire stopped it. Oh, and it got him, too. What the fuck even was that? I don't know. What the fuck was that? I think I even saw him T-pose for like a very brief amount of time in there. Ah, another invasion. Cool, they're coming hard and fast. Like it. Or not. There we go. Oh. I might make a low level meter that's based around backstabbing though. I feel like that can be interesting. Oh ho ho! No, no. You did it once. It was kind of obvious you're gonna do it again. Also with the bandit knife too. Man, he's going for the maximum possible backstab damage. Or riposte damage. That was quick though, Jesus. Oh, this might be a fake one. Invading another world. It seems to... Okay, no, this time it's being legit. Okay. It seems to occasionally, like, fake out whenever... If you use it right when you get back. I don't know why. Oh, you might be dead. I think his teammate died, though. It looked like his health hit 0. Oh, hi, guys. I'm not falling for the oldest trick in the book. You're gonna just go there and then get me boxed in? No, thank you. Oh, come on. I might be heading into a trap doing this. Just kill this one. Damn it. Damn! I just wanted to kill the one. Man, I would try to get another backstab. I'm surprised they were in a rush to get to the boss room against one guy. It's kind of strange. But I might also make like a low-level invader that's focused around like backstabbing and parrying or something like that, you know? But it probably also wouldn't have the Hornet Ring, because that would just make everything a one-shot at a low level. Oh, but I was talking about the weapon upgrade system before and how that's relevant to that. You know how most people pick up the Lightning Spear on the way to Anor Londo? Lightning weapons count as a plus 10 weapon. And I believe the system in Dark Souls Remastered lets you go up to 4 levels higher. So if they pick up the Lightning Spear, I can have a plus 14 weapon and be fine, which is actually perfect, because it's really easy to farm chunks in New Londo runes, but slabs take forever. So this is kind of allow you to make a huge variety of things. Oh, it's Shiva again. He's got the binoculars. Practicing those chains. Just don't roll away and it won't work. Oh. You rolled away, but it still didn't work. Ah, no. Oh, I was out of range. I got really lucky by getting just barely knocked out of range by that last hit. And that's all the cracked red eye orbs I have. I don't have like the full red eye on this character, do I? No. Well, either way, it's getting later on that time, so I guess we'll call that for this episode. I need to make sure I get like the full red eye orb on this character. Although I am planning on leveling this one up as much as humanly possible. Or maybe I won't. But I definitely gotta make a low level invader, because doing just straight up invasions is always fun. I'll try to keep it as low levels, but I'll probably try to keep it at like 60 at most. Maybe 50 if I can manage it. Because I mean, probably what I do is, since it's going to be a backstabbing character for the most part, I'd probably give it enough stats just to wield something that's about as heavy as a longsword. And then any weapon I want to make, I'd probably make like a chaos weapon. I wouldn't bother with Hornet Ring just because I'd be doing so much damage for Anor Londo at that point that it would just be stupid. Especially when I can use that for something like Poise, which I feel as it will be a lot more useful in Anor Londo because there's usually a lot of groups. Oh wait, we can summon a guy for a fight. Let's do it. You know, I'd probably try to get a chunk of Poise. Definitely have the Wolf Ring on there. Probably have some of the lightest Poise giving armor, except for the Paladin armor, because style points. I like the Paladin armor in this game. Your health is not full. Heal up. Heal up. Heal up. There you go. I'll do the traditional honor duel thing in this instance because, you know, I don't do the scummy thing that mages like to do. He doesn't have a shield. I should really be going ham. It's not like I have to worry about getting parried. Also has a lot of poise, though. I was thinking about going for a parry because I saw him two-handed. Oh god, it hits so hard. Jesus. He is definitely a twinked mage for this level. Damn, if only I went for that parry instead of rolling instinctually. Because I knew he was going to attack when he two-handed it. I think the timing would have been just right. Oh. Could have been amazing. Man, I did not expect his magic to hit that hard, though. Jesus. And he did the spinny thing that I hate too much, that exploit. Yes, I'm calling it an exploit. It's always going to be an exploit. That's what it is. By, like, definition and fact. Doing this shit desyncs, makes it so it desyncs really easily, making it so you have a blatantly unfair advantage in trying to hit that. It'd be like if I could do something that made it so whenever I swung my sword, it had a random chance of actually striking 2 seconds before or after you saw it. And so it made it completely unpredictable. I mean, that wouldn't be fair, would it? So why do people like doing it with magic so much? Oh yeah, because they can. I kind of want to, you know, I kind of want to have a character that just has the magic shield buff, so I can just use that on a shield and just block all magics completely. Because I think, isn't the crest shield like the highest magic defense in the game? It only gets 80%. Oh, Hells is 90. Well, maybe I'll make a strength character one day. It just fat rolls and has the able shield. One thing I don't remember is, do fast-rolling characters and fast-rolling characters, as well as mid-rolling characters, do they run the same speed and then just it looks different so it feels like the fast-rolling guys run faster? Or do the slow-rolling guys actually run slower? That's something... I remember in Dark Souls 3 they ran at the same speed despite the animation being different to make it look like the slow-rolling people ran slower. But I have no idea if that's the case in Dark Souls 1. Either way, that'll do it for this episode, guys. If you like these invasions, be sure to like the video. If you want to see more of these, be sure to subscribe. And if you want to leave a comment, I read them all. Tell me what you feel. Tell me how you feel about things like dead angling being removed. As much as I hate it, I promise I don't hate the people that think it was a good idea and they're disappointed it's removed. I just hate dead angling, and I have yet to see somebody make a rational argument for it being better. Because at the end of the day, even when somebody can come up with a decent argument, I still haven't found any arguments I feel is a good argument. Just kind of decent, as in there was some logic there. I just didn't feel like it was like the soundest ever. But at the end of the day, dead angling invalidated so many weapons in the game. It's like, think about how many people would run around with claymores back then, because it was like the be-all, end-all best weapon for it, because it was like, dead angle like this, and then just follow up with an R1, and then you can hit another R2, and it all chained together, and it was just like 3-hit combo that nearly outright killed you, and it was just silly. And it invalidated like every other great sword in the game because of that. And don't get me wrong, you can dead angle with them, they just weren't as good. And you know, you can also follow up that R2 with like a backstab if you were really quick to get around them, etc., etc. That's like, as far as arguments go, like, I mean, it would take a lot to convince me. But if you feel there's any system that was removed and you wish wasn't, or any system that you wish wasn't removed and you wish was, let me know in the comments. I'm interested to hear. No judging. Just kind of interested in getting other people's perspectives. Anyway, you guys have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.